Elon Musk was paid nothing last year by Tesla, $0, zero stock, making him the lowest paid CEO in the S&P 500. Now, the Tesla board is under pressure to create a new compensation package as Musk demands a bigger stake or threatens to walk away. They're weighing three radically different options: go big, treat him like a regular CEO, or put him on the same plan as the rest of the company. For more, we're joined by Sultan from Sultan Interactive Group. Tesla without Elon Musk, how does that look?
It could be interesting. Musk has created a weird scenario for the company with his political evangelism in terms of reducing the expenditures of the American government across a number of agencies. And that's hit the ire of Democrats in the United States. That's also pissed off a lot of folks that would be, traditionally green buying Tesla or Tesla advocates globally. The whole crux of this matter comes down to Elon made a gamble on Tesla where he had said that instead of compensating him early on, there would be a bigger long-term compensation package for him that would be drafted up. Now, the Delaware courts got involved in that last year. He moved, what was about 2 years ago, he moved the company to Texas, repackaged, everything there. And now they're operating as a Texas corporation, paying different taxes. But the big question of his executive compensation is still on the table. And that's going to be a shareholder vote, which, by the way, he has a lot of shares. So I personally think that he's going to end up with a larger package. I don't think that he would want to be treated as a traditional CEO. And if they actually do vote to do that, I think he will go with his gunboat diplomacy and just walk away. Now, that raises a big question. You create a big vacuum inside of the auto industry for electric vehicles. What's next?
What is next? But here's the thing, have a look at this. This is a chart of Tesla's share price, and it essentially follows his political viewpoint as well. Just as he went to the right, on the right of this chart, it went south as he joined Doge and got spectacularly behind the Trump administration during the election campaign. Obviously, a board of directors and shareholders would be somewhat concerned about a share decline, and if there was a CEO pay conversation to be had, this would be something that may be raised.
Well, I think so, and I think this is going to factor into it. But if you look at what analysts are talking about, they're predicting a $3,600 price point by 2030. Electric cars aren't going anywhere. We, by no means in America, will ever allow BYD and Chinese manufacturers to touch our land. So your options are, what do you do with Tesla in terms of a leadership perspective to kind of keep them moving? And also, when people forget about this whole Doge endeavor, which is more than likely going to happen before the end of the year, and sales tick back up outside of the Cybertruck, which seems to have been a little bit of a financial boondoggle for just how expensive these things are. This is a company that continually innovates, continually moves forward. They've got power walls. They've got in-house technology. They've got a variety of things out there that are really underpinning a lot of what the grid and EV industry is in America. There isn't a replacement for them. The people aren't necessarily just going to go whole hog into buying GM electric vehicles, right? It's not going to be Chevy Volts everywhere. So, there's a lot to be yet decided on this one, but I think Elon's holding a lot of the keys. And if he does leave, that's going to leave a tremendous question for the American automotive landscape as to what's next and where do they go. And, no one liked throwing Steve Jobs out. I don't think they're going to like throwing Elon out.
Could then making Musk earn his pay with stock performance drive long-term value? Because there is no doubt that his actions have harmed Tesla stock. We have seen that because we've seen it decrease. We've seen attacks on Tesla vehicles. He refers to them as terrorist attacks. But obviously, when someone parks a Cybertruck and kills himself out the front of Trump International Hotel in Las Vegas, there's a clear link to their feelings on the CEO. Talk to us about how the board can keep Musk on a leash.
It's going to be difficult, because he is such a large shareholder in the company. I think what they're going to have to do is put a bunch of caveats into what his comp contract is going to be that they're going to make him sign. If it is tied to stock performance, they're going to be able to evict him. He's not necessarily going to want to sign something like that. If it is tied to financial performance of the company, that may be something that he would endeavor upon. But I think whatever comes out from this board vote and board decision, there's going to be some ongoing additional negotiations because he's made the company a lot of money over the course of the past couple of years. He's put them in a better regulatory framework by moving them to Texas. And this is short-term hiccups. He's being measured in quarters when realistically this is a company that you need to be looking at in terms of years. So this may be a little bit short-sighted on the part of the board. And more than likely, Musk is going to have some different recourse. There's also the Carl Icahn game, right? He may have purchased additional stock through third-party vehicles and may come to the table and say, well, I have more bargaining chips than you thought I did. So this is going to play out again in very interesting ways as that vote comes up, and then we see how that's reported in the press afterwards.
Do you think Tesla's still a growth company worthy of the billion-dollar awards?
I do, and I think it's for a number of things. The cars, I think, are ancillary. It's more of what they are doing in terms of securitizing the grid, and by putting in additional, power storage solutions for homes and communities. They're moving in a direction that is really more of a power company that also produces cars. They are also potentially going to be introducing, from what we've seen in the rumor mill, some additional products over the course of the next 18 months. The Cybertruck, I think it's a cool thing. It's overpriced for what it is, but that's also been knocked down quite a bit from what it started out. I think you can buy them for 70 grand now. It's yet to be seen how the American people will take to this. I will tell you that if he does step back, you could probably see an immediate bounce in the stock because the American populace is just really more sour with him of the Trump relation than they are EVs. But there's 2 or 3 different ways that this could go. If he leaves, then it's potentially a near-term win, but what's the long-term win? That's a big question. If he stays, it could be more of something where we look to a mid-return in terms of stock price.
All right, Sultan, always appreciate your insights. Thanks so much for your time.
Thank you.